today I thought we'll do like an overall morning practice. And I'll try my best to do it sort of consistently today and on Thursday. So you have something to go back to, right? And play this class back if you have a nice chunk of time during your day, or whenever you want sort of like a head to toe, you know, activation. Okay, so I'll try to restrain myself from explaining too much. We'll just go through the, you know, motions, and we'll go slowly and mindfully, and we'll see how far we get through this routine. If we sort of can finish the whole thing in 1 hour, maybe we'll pick it up where we left off on Thursday. Okay, so and we'll start standing up, rolling your feet. So find your therapy balls, and we'll use both balls. And if you have something to hold on to, like a wall, that might be helpful first thing in the morning. Okay, and we'll just start by placing the foot on top of both balls, and you'll start rolling out. On top of both balls, did you say? Oh. Yeah, and I can hear some nice sounds. Yeah, so start gently, and then gradually start applying a bit more pressure. So don't make it painful. If there's a spot that kind of doesn't really like it right now, just brush your skin with the balls gently, right? And then maybe slowly that spot will soften, and you'll be able to apply a little bit more pressure. Breathing, sensing the texture of the balls with the sole of your foot, checking in with your ankle, with your knee, with your hip. How's the side feeling? Keep going. So make sure you go along the outer edge of the foot, sort of along the pinky side of the foot, and then maybe along the big toe side of the foot. Very nice. And now just stand on your left and extend your right behind you. Hopefully, you know, if the floor, the hardwood floor is hard, you can use your blanket or a pillow, you know, because it's, you know, early in the morning, so you want to go nice and gentle. Just checking how things are. So you can try lengthening your knee, straightening your knee, and then softening and then straightening again. The leg that you're standing on, right, is not becoming diagonal. So can you bring your hips back so that leg is vertical? Very nice. Now standing on that left, see if you can pick up your right, just to check in with the back line of the leg, your hamstring. Can you pull your heel up? Notice if, you know, maybe the lower back wants to arch a bit. Nice, and then step down. Tiny step forward with your right foot. And let's try to find that hinge. So sending your sit bones back, hinging here, closing the angle between your thigh and your pelvis in the front. And then pivoting on that heel side to side, just checking how the hamstring is feeling, the gentle stretch. And then come back up, and let's do the other foot. Sometimes using two, and it gives you a little bit more of a rich experience. But if you find that you cannot avoid the spot that doesn't feel right, just use one ball, and that way you'll be a bit more precise. You know, looking for the spot that needs more attention and the spot that kind of doesn't like it right now. So So first brushing the skin with the ball, registering the sensation of the ball against the bottom of your foot, noticing the texture of the balls, the temperature, maybe starting to apply a bit more pressure. Go along the inner edge of the foot and then the outer edge. And if you've been doing this regularly, you can really sort of start kneading your foot with the balls, right? Like it's a piece of dough and you're really working it. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Okay, so balls off to the side. Let's stand on the right. Again, you're welcome to hold onto something. This is early in the morning, relatively. Extend your left leg behind you. Tuck the toes under. See if you can straighten that back knee. Notice if your pelvis wants to shift forward and your standing leg is no longer vertical, right? And just shift back and forth to feel the difference. Maybe even watch yourself in the screen. Maybe turn sideways to your screen, right? And just see if, you know, this is happening a little bit.
It's not big enough for me to see.
And then moving your left leg in and out. And as you're moving the leg in and out, try not to move the torso, right? So this is all still square to the wall or whichever way you're facing. Nice. And now standing on your right, let's pick up your left heel. And see how the thigh wants to move forward. So try to keep your thighs on the same plane here. But keep pulling the heel up and try not to use your lower back here. So your lower back stays nice and long. You're pulling the left heel up. Beautiful. Nice. Now step down. Left foot forward, right foot back. Pull the left toes off the floor. Come up onto the heel of your left foot. Place one hand on your belly, one on your lower back. And as you soften your right knee, and start sending your sit bones back behind you, try not to change anything under your palms. So nothing moves. Your belly, you're only closing the angle between the thigh and your belly. The vertebrae in your lower back, they do not move in relationship to one another, right? We're hinging, that's the only sort of articulation that's happening. All the vertebrae are staying the same in relation to one another. And then you're going to pivot on that heel. The neck is nice and long. And then slowly pressing through your right foot. Come up, take a step back. Beautiful. We're going to roll our back a little bit before we start waking up our shoulders. So this is one of my favorite ways to start the day as well. So feet, and then you just find, with your coffee in your hand, you just find a spot on the wall. And you can do one or two, you know, and just go by your own sort of sensation. See which part of your back wants some love right now. And you can sort of slide up and down a few times. Trace your shoulder blades, feel your shoulder blades between the wall and the ball. Sometimes I like using a bigger ball, so this is also yoga tune-up. This is like an alpha ball. These guys work perfectly well too. Also, if you know it's very sensitive, there's tension, your Porges ball can work as well. So this is like a different sensation, right? It's much softer. Yeah, and play with, you know, different spots, maybe higher, and then as you walk away from the wall, you'll be able to apply a bit more pressure into the spot, right? Make sure you do both sides, so on both sides of your spine. The further away you are from the wall, the more pressure you're able to apply. And then also try moving your arms, right? So if you found a spot that feels really good, apply some pressure and then see if you can move your
Definitely will.
arm. Nice. And then you can sort of position your balls a little bit further down so they're sort of below the shoulder blades. Oh yeah. Everybody will have their favorite spot. Right? And I like when they're sort of hugging my spine like this in my mid-back. And then I can really sort of roll it out there, bending my knees, going up and down. And again, trying to maybe move the arms here. And then traveling further back, you can even try it right here. And to apply enough pressure, you'll have to move your feet forward quite a bit. So it's almost like sitting in the chair, right? And that way you can reach your lower back. And you can go side to side, up and down. You can try placing them vertically like this. We did this positioning while on our back, and you can place them like this on one side of your spine and then go side to side. Again, use your legs here. See how far from the wall do you want to be to. Oh, are you enjoying it, Wendy?
Yes.
Yes, so nice. Yeah, and then do the other side. So see, this can be done, you know, anytime throughout your day. Just whenever you feel like some discomfort or just want to have some nice sensory stimulation, you just do this. Do the other side. Beautiful. Okay. And then we'll put the balls down. And let's find our stool. I hope you all have a stool. When we first wake up, it's really hard to find the sit bones if we're all the way down on the floor, because the hips are quite, you know, might be sleepy, tight, and the core is not quite woken up yet. On your stool, can you roll your pelvis back and forth a few times? Can you find your sit bones? Moving the pelvis back and forth. So I'll show you the model here. I wonder if the level is okay. So see, we all have, you know, these are the sit bones. So, and ideally we want to sit right on, like in front. Like there's this flat part right here. So it's not so much right perching up, but tilting, yeah. Just try to go back and forth and map out the bottom of your pelvis for yourself. So, and just notice when you come up on top of the sit bones and closer to this flat part, see how kind of supported your back feels. This is the bony structure that was designed to support the upper body, right? So if we're like this, it's way too much work for the lower back. It's not supported. And also all our organs are kind of squished in here. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So find the spot that feels more flat, right in front of the sit bones. Mm-hmm. And we'll do a few things here. Keep connecting to your feet, pressing to the floor. Mm-hmm. And we'll slowly move our head over to the left shoulder. And then over to the right shoulder. Notice if your chin wants to lift up when you move your head over to the shoulder. Try to keep the chin parallel to the floor, and maybe visualize or pretend that you are balancing a bag of rice on top of your head. So you're gently pushing up into that bag of rice. Side to side, beautiful. Come back to center. So push up into that bag of rice, and now try to move your ear to your left shoulder. Lengthen your right arm down and then pull your fingertips up in the direction of your ear. So like we're pressing the palm of the hand into the floor. And notice if the chin wants to lift up. So keep it down, so ear to the shoulder. Pressing the palm of your right hand into the imaginary floor right underneath it. And slowly bring your head up. Moving over to the other side. So pressing up first, like there is a bag of rice on your head. And then right ear to the right shoulder, nice and slow. And then your right arm left arm lengthens down towards the floor, and you pull the fingertips up. Flatten your palm as much as you can. Find that 90 degrees at the wrist. See how the arm wants to go out to the side? Try to keep it reaching down towards the floor while pulling the fingertips up. And then notice if like your gaze has fallen down towards the floor. Can you move your gaze forward just at the screen, right at the screen? Yeah. Beautiful. And then slowly bring your head back up. So now we'll try a circle, but watch me first. So usually we sort of circle with the chin. So this time we'll include the sideways movement of the neck. You probably felt how challenging that was. So first we're gonna tuck the chin in. We're gonna trace our collarbone with the chin. And then I'm gonna try to direct the ear to the shoulder, like that side bend. And then we're gonna trace a semicircle with the chin over to the other side. So first ear to the shoulder, chin down to the outer edge of your collarbone, and then tracing the collarbone with the chin to come back, and then bring your head up. And I like placing my hand on my chest to sort of encourage the chest to soften, because what happens often, the chest wants to move when there's tension in the neck. Okay, so let's try the other side. Tuck the chin in. Trace your collarbone with your chin to the right. Now the right ear to the right shoulder. And then you draw a circle with the chin. And then you end up with your left ear to the left shoulder. And then chin to the collarbone, and then down. And then bring your head up. Lovely. Okay, nice. So now we'll try to get up, but we'll use our hinge and the support from our legs to get up from your chair. So make sure you still feel those sit bones, right? Donna, your chair is a little bit low, so it might be challenging for you. Maybe watch me first, and then you'll come off and you'll use something else, okay? So we right on top of the sit bones, and we feel the floor underneath the feet. And we're gonna hinge forward, right? Hinge, arms forward, and then pressing to the feet, you can come up. Same way on the way down, so hinge, find your hinge, find the support from the back of your legs. Look for that chair, and then down. One more time. Okay, so feel the floor with your feet. Find that support from the legs, right? Like we're doing this. Lighting up the back line of the legs. Hinge forward. Arms forward. Pressing to the feet. Come up. Oh, looking good. One more time. Hinging. So bring the legs online, right? Sending the sit bones back, hinging. Down. Beautiful. Looks good. And we're going to go all the way up. Hinge first, hinge. Press into your feet. Come up. Beautiful. All right. And we'll start with some shoulder rotations. Think of that ice cream bowl and ice cream scoop. Maybe place one hand on your chest so that you're not moving the shoulder blade. We're sort of thinking of tucking the shoulder blade. I'm going to show you my side here. Into the back pocket. You see, like try like scooping it down and under a little bit. So this part of your back is activated. Yeah, and then do the rotations from there. And see how the scapula, your shoulder blade is now kind of sitting in one spot, right? Mm-hmm. And then go in and out. Notice how it feels. Specifically the connection between your arm bone and the scapula. I know, it's a lot of work. And you can try different angles, so it's not always here. So maybe this is a bit too much for you, right? Maybe you can do it here in the front and through the back as well. But keep thinking of sort of anchoring. Maybe even hold yourself here. Yeah, find that activation. Yeah, that's great, Wendy. Rotating. When you bring the arm out to the side, like Louise, I'm noticing that there's a little bit of this happening. Yeah. So see, it's like, it's when you lift it up beyond your range for now, the body wants to compensate, right? So we want to work, you know, within our range that's available right now, trying not to bring on any compensations. Yeah. And since we're holding the rib cage here, maybe focus on your breath and see if you can feel the inhalation, the expansion through the ribs on the side, and then softening on the exhale. Mm-hmm. Nice. Let's do the other side. Shake this one out. So again, this can be done anytime, anywhere, right? As long as we're rooting down through the feet, right? We're finding our pelvis right on top of our sort of roots of our legs. Rib cage is stacked over the pelvis. So again, find that side body, see if you can activate it. So scooping down and under, and then rotating from there. Without building too much tension, right? We're still breathing. Very subtle, just like the backs of our legs when we engage them, right? Just a touch. Feel it with your hand. If you want, you can also try moving your neck here, but very gently. So if you found a line that feels kind of tingly, stay there and then see if you can move your head gently. Maybe do a gentle circle. Keep rotating your arm. And now you can hold on to your ball. If you have a weight, like maybe Gordon has his weights there, you can use a soft weight, or the ball will do for now as well, or like a water bottle, right? We're gonna move the scapula now. We moved the root of the arm inside the scapula, your shoulder blade, right? Now we wanna try to move the scapula without moving too much in this joint. So we're gonna shrug the shoulder up to your ear. And again, I like holding my hand on my chest to encourage the chest to stay down. Because what happens sometimes is this, right? Just the shoulder. See how the shoulder has moved up and then down. And then up and down. Up. Elbow stays straight, right? And the ear doesn't move towards the shoulder. It's just the top. Up, up, up. And then down. Keep going. Up. Beautiful. Okay, now move up. We're gonna move forward. So the entire arm, not just like, we're not lifting it up, but it's the shoulder blade that moves forward, up, then move it back. So it's hugging your spine and then slowly down. And see the torso staying completely square. We're not rotating through the torso. Up elbow straight, forward, down, ooh, back, lid on, up, forward, down. And let's try to switch the direction. Up, back, down, and forward, up, all the way up, back, down. Oh, very nice. So take the weight into the other arm. Shake this one out. Place it on the wall. Hopefully you're not too far away from the wall. For the one that we just moved, right? Bring your legs online. Think of corkscrewing your heels in. Maybe even squeeze something between your knees. That usually helps you activate the legs. Soften the knees and then find your hinge, holding your hand on the wall. Think of dragging your hand down the wall. Beautiful. Notice how that dragging action activates that area below your shoulder blade through the side body, right? And then slowly bring yourself up. Let's do the other scapular. So switch the weight, or you can hold on to your ball, but make sure you're squeezing it, right? So you're activating the arm. I like doing this with a hand extender as well. You know, that, trains the grip strength. So you squeeze it, so the entire arm lights up. Okay, so rooting through the feet. Pelvis is on top of your heels. Maybe keep sort of noticing things. Yeah. Find that vertical line. Now we're going to shrug the shoulder up to the ear, nice and high. I like placing my hand on my chest. Forward and then back. Try how this side is doing. Forward and back. And then we'll go down. And then we'll go up. The neck stays completely vertical. Down. Notice if the arm wants to go out to the side, right? Try to keep it parallel to the side body. Up and down. As you're doing this, notice if your weight has shifted into your toes. Try to keep your weight more over your heels. Keep going up and down. How high can you lift your shoulder without leaning to either side and without bringing the ear to the shoulder? Up and down. Beautiful. So all the way up. Now let's move it forward, down, back. Lid wants to pop open here. So lid on, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, and down. Let's switch. Forward, up, back, down. One more time. Forward. I'm sweating, I don't know about you, it's a lot of work. Up, 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 back, and down. Beautiful. So put the weight off or your ball off. Face your wall. Let's place the hand on the wall. Shoulder height. Bring your legs online, right? Maybe even if you have a gorgeous ball, that might be helpful. You can squeeze it between your knees like this, or like a blanket, and see if this helps you bring the legs online. So placing the hand on the wall, we're gonna engage the legs, soften the knees, and start sending the sit bones back. Closing the angle between your thighs and your belly without moving the vertebra through your lower back. The lid is on. The lid is on. So the legs are engaged. Now start dragging. Pretend you're dragging the wall down with your hand. Right? It won't move, but you'll feel that activation below your, like inside the armpit, and then below the shoulder blades, and it radiates into the side body there. Beautiful. And slowly bring yourself up. I'm gonna go for a full rotation at the shoulder. So you can use your weight. How heavy is your weight, Gordon? So I like the soft.
Just 5 pounds.
Okay, that's good. That should be good. So we're gonna stand close to the wall with your weight in your hand. Make sure you don't bang your weight into the wall, not to scratch it. But the wall will sort of work as a restriction that we have to avoid, right? So placing your hand on your chest, and you can start with whichever side that, so that you can see the screen right now. And we're gonna rotate the arm in, right? Think of rooting the shoulder blade down, like we did. Then reach the arm back in internal rotation. Try not to pop the lid open, right? Reach, reach. And then start rotating, and we'll try to avoid touching the wall, right? And you might find right away that you're way too close to the wall, right? We're trying not to lean away. It's all on the shoulder. Yeah. So maybe taking a step away. Reach back, rotate, up and over. So we did this move quite a few times, in the studio when we were on our side, lying down on the floor, right? So same move, but the wall here is really kind of giving us that restriction that we have to work against. And as a result, we're really honest about how much movement is actually available at the shoulder joint. And what the weight is doing is engaging as many muscle in the arm as possible. So you cannot help but sort of snuggle the joint together. So it has to be snug. Remember when I was saying, pretend you're holding a big dog on the leash? So that's what the weight is doing. It makes you really hold the joint in a nice contained space, create that contained space. Let's try moving in the opposite direction. So rotate your arm out so the eye of the elbow is facing the screen. Move it up. Again, notice if anything wants to move in the body except for the shoulder. Okay, so root the shoulder blade down. Rotate. Try not to touch the wall. Yeah. Beautiful. One more circle in this direction. Again, notice if the weight has shifted into your toes, and that's what happens when the weight shifts into the toes. Back it up so it's more in your heels. The shoulder is rooted down, up, rotate. Beautiful. Also notice if your feet want to kind of collapse in. I'll show you in my feet. I just noticed that happens, sort of, right? So think of, let's do one more circle, but think of rooting down also through the outer edges of your feet, right there when you do the circle. And you'll feel how much more support you get from your legs when you do that. Okay, and we'll do the other side. So take your weight or your ball or your water bottle. I love how you're using the water bottle, Donna. So I'll just rotate for a sec this way so you can see my back. So again, check in with your feet, rooting through the outer edges of your feet. Anchor down your shoulder blade. Maybe feel it with your fingers. And you activate that side body here. Rotate the arm in, reach back, reach. Elbow straight. When it doesn't move any further up, that's when you start opening the armpit towards the wall. The torso does not rotate. You bring your arm up and over. Nice and slow. And even if you're like very far away from the wall, but you're working, on your range, this is perfect. Don't get discouraged if right now you're really far from the wall and you're still touching it. Maybe take a step further back, but just keep working towards avoiding the wall. Let's switch direction. So pretend my wall is here now. I just want to see you reach forward, ribs down. Okay, when you reached the top here, make sure that the lid is not popping open, right? And then rotating, opening the armpit. Keep rotating the arm on its axis as well as around the space and back. One last circle. Check in with your feet. Relax the jaw. Rotating, breathing through the nose. Beautiful. So now we're gonna hold on to the ball, and you can, before we go down onto our hands and knees, so if your back is tired of standing, you're welcome to sit on your stool and sort of work on finding your sit bones. Or if you're okay standing up, you can stay standing up. So I'm gonna squeeze the ball and we're gonna articulate at the wrist joint. We just work the shoulder blade, right, sliding, and then the root of the arm inside the shoulder blade. Now it's the wrist. And the point of this work is that we sort of move through all the joints and make sure that everything does its work. So we want, whenever we move, we want all the parts to do their job. We don't want to be overloading one part and underloading other parts. We want to distribute the load evenly. When you're extending the wrist, notice how the hand kind of wants to let go, the fingers want to let go. Keep squeezing the ball, even if it really sort of diminishes the range here. The range that you have available in your joints is an indication of their health, right? Yeah, so go side to side now. I know, so much work. So the forearm is parallel to the floor, the back of the hand. So if, Wendy, if you feel like it goes up into your neck, think of engaging this part, right? And the head is right on top of the shoulders. We tend to kind of, you know, focus on things and it draws the head forward. Still pushing up into that rice bag. Try a circle now. Again, the forearm is not moving. I'm holding it with my hand here because if I'm not holding, these bones start moving. So I want them to be still to bring the movement right into the wrist joint. Switch the direction, keep squeezing the ball, relax the jaw. Nice. Shake it out. Let's stretch it the other way. Hold on to your fingers. Straighten your elbow and reach your thumb. See how the fingers are spreading, fanning out. Reach the thumb out to the side. Try to create C shape through the back of your palm. Yeah. And now reach the thumb towards me, towards the screen, forward. And then down to your pinky. Then down to the floor and out to the side. And again, that might aggravate the space between your shoulder blades. Make sure you're engaging the side, right? You're not just like taking your arm bone out of your shoulder joint when you do this, because that might happen. Switch the direction, nice big slow circle with your thumb. Nice. And then shake it out. Woo, I know. Okay, other hand, squeeze the ball. Hold onto your forearm to make sure that it's not moving. You keep squeezing, you're flexing and extending. So this can be done also with like a little resistance added to it. If this is plenty of work, you can keep doing what you're doing, or you can even get a bit more resistance by pulling in the wrist. But it seems like it's quite a bit of work for everybody, so, which is great. It means you're taking it seriously. Yeah, now side to side. See, when this, we don't have much control over the wrist of it, or if it's weak, right? Whenever we do something with our arms, the tension, all the work goes into the shoulder and into the neck. right? We really want the wrist to be strong, and we want to have control over the motion. And also, we want to use our hands and fingers to avoid, any stiffness, and we just want to get as much movement into all the joints as possible to keep them healthy. Switch the direction, go the opposite way. Keep squeezing the ball. Beautiful. Now let's put it down, shake it out. Okay, now we're going to straighten the elbow, pull the fingers back. And as you're pulling the fingers back, keep this stretch active by pressing, resisting into your other hand, right? So it's not just like passively pulling them back. We always want to resist. We always want to have those muscles participate. So C shape through the back of your hand, straighten the elbow, pull the fingers back, but push the fingers forward, reach the thumb out towards me, down to the floor, out to the side, up, into the pinky, down, out, forward. Yeah, beautiful. And shake it out. If you're sitting, let's stand up for a second. And we're gonna give ourselves a hug like this. Put your hands on tops of your shoulders. And for some of us, this will feel like your arms are coming out of the shoulder joints. So again, try to engage the side body when you do this. Not just hang, on your tops of the shoulders, but sort of like a stacking doll, like pop it down. Yeah. Tuck your chin in, soften your knees a little bit. I'm going to slowly flex, so allow your upper back to flex just a touch. Engage your legs here. So pretend you're squeezing something between your knees and you're lighting up the back lines of your legs. Now slowly we'll move over to the right, so swing over to the right. Back down, just the upper back, and then over to the left. Forward, to the right, forward, and to the left. Come back to center, release your arms, and slowly bring yourself up. So from here, soften your knees. I'm gonna mute the mics. Soften the knees, and now ear to the shoulder. Allow that arm to soften and sort of reach, hang down towards the floor. Your lid is on. Soften your knees. Now start floating your right arm up towards the sky. And then from there, pull the fingertips back. Allow the neck to soften. That is heavy. Now pushing through the palm of your right hand. Slowly bring yourself up. Beautiful. Soften your knees again. Make sure the legs are participating. Now right ear to the right shoulder. The neck is still long. Pretend your right arm is really heavy now. It's pulling your body all the way to the right side. The neck is long. The head is heavy. And now float your left arm up towards the sky and pull the fingertips back. And then pushing the left palm into the sky. Bring yourself up. Beautiful. All right. We're ready to go down to the floor. So let's take a couple moments here to move in whichever fashion your body wants you to move. Make it feel good. What would feel good right now? We activated our hands and wrists, so use them. So gently, but sort of mindfully and intentionally pressing the floor away through your fingers, through the palm of your hand, through the wrist. So we're not just collapsing into that joint, we're actively using it. Maybe think of imprinting your hands on like a wet sand. Like we want to see those imprints on the wet sand. Come back to center. If your wrists are complaining, you can either go down onto the elbows or just move them slightly forward so you have a little bit less weight in your wrists. And let's do a few cat and cows. And do it nice and slow. So it's not so much about what we do, it's how we do it. Movement is really good for our spine, so we want that movement to be available to us. As long as we're doing it mindfully, slowly, and we're engaging all the parts, that we're pressing down through the hands, we're breathing. This is so good. We have all these tubes inside us with fluids, so we want all the tissues to stay fluid and slippery and slidey to enhance that constant movement of fluids. Beautiful. So come back to center and then walk your hands over to the left. Keep the same distance between your hands and your knees. So now we're in a slight sort of, we're shrinking the left side of the body and gently stretching the right. And we'll try a few cat and cows here as well. Initiate from your sit bones. So the sit bones lift up and you gently extending your back all the way to your neck. And then starting from the sit bones, you gently tipping your pelvis under, rounding into your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. One more time. Try to move bone by bone by bone through your spine. Notice the parts of your back that kind of move together in one chunk, and then parts that are able to move one after another. Come back to center, and let's move over to the other side. So now we're shrinking the right side of the body and lengthening through the left. Pushing the floor away through your hands, tipping the pelvis back and under, rounding into the lower back, the middle back, the upper back, and then reversing by bringing the sit bones up, extending through your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, your neck. Keep the neck long. One more time. Notice how your breath is flowing. Come back to center. Bring your hands to underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under. And let's see if we can sort of rock back and forth here on our hands and knees, finding that hinge, right? Hinge at the hips. Last time we were balancing an object on our back. So if that was helpful, you can find your block or your book, place it in that valley, right? Your lower back has a bit of a dip in neutral. And then moving back and forth, notice if you can keep that object nice and still. Just hinging at the hips, but keeping your spine in neutral. And now move your left knee slightly ahead of your right, and bring your toes a bit closer to one another so your knees are slightly wider than your hips. And then go for a circle over your hips. And again, really try to feel the object on your lower back and try to notice when the object starts tipping and when it stays still. Beautiful. Come back to center and now switch right knee ahead of the left. And another circle here. In one direction, and really sensing the object, noticing when it wants to move or when you're able to keep it still. Beautiful. Come back to center, take the thing off your back, and make your way onto your back. Have your blanket with you so you can put it under your head. We'll take a few moments to rest here. So go from your side. You can have your knees bent, or if your legs want to straighten out, by all means. I like having my knees come together so my lower belly can relax, and then the arms can relax by the sides of your body. Make sure the neck feels long. Allow your body to be heavy on the floor. And notice the easy flow of your breath. In and out. With each exhalation, your body is softening, becoming a bit more heavy. Relax the skin across your forehead. Allow the eyes to be heavy underneath the eyelids. Your chest softens. Your shoulder blades are melting into the floor. Your right arm feels heavy and soft all the way down to your wrist, to your fingertips. And your left arm feels soft and heavy all the way down to your left wrist and your left fingertips. Your belly gently rises on the inhale, gently falls on the exhale. Notice that tiny pause at the bottom of the exhalation. Don't rush your inhalation, just wait for it to happen on its own. And your pelvis is heavy on the floor. And your feet are heavy and soft.